Well, welcome everyone to my first podcast. My name's Tim McCoy, and I am just here going to be chronicling my jiu-jitsu journey. Today is my 6-month anniversary of training at my academy in Christiansburg, Virginia, and um, I've been wanting to start a podcast for a long time, and today is the day. So, my podcast is going to be my reflections on what I'm learning in jiu-jitsu, and I'm going to review YouTube jiu-jitsu channels that are available, and just hopefully give you a little bit of inspiration that if you're thinking about training or are currently training and wondering what to do next. I am not giving advice. I am, 6 months into this thing, and I am absolutely not telling you what to do or how to do it, or certainly not giving any technique advice because I am a third degree white belt. I am as beginner as they get. So let's just jump into it. I started May 18th of 2017, 6 months before my 49th birthday. I'm now 49. And in the last 6 months, I've taken 69 jiu-jitsu classes, mostly at my academy here in Christiansburg. I have traveled. When I travel, I make it a point to hit gyms, academies there and get some training in, and I'll talk about that and why I think that is an outstanding idea. And I'll tell you, I've never found something as fulfilling or passion filled as jiu-jitsu. And if you're considering, if you're on the fence, if you're thinking, this might be for me, I encourage you to give it a shot. I saw a great video from Henner Gracie about all the people who never try jiu-jitsu. People all talk about getting to blue belt and how difficult that is, and it is difficult. I figure it's going to take me at least 2 years before I can be a blue belt, and I don't worry about the belts. I enjoy training. I try to go there and stay humble, work hard, and learn, and this is a part of that. My experience has been one of it's been a great journey so far. As I said, my gym is it's Tech MMA. Great folks there, great vibe. Everyone was very welcoming. Got armbarred my first night. My first class was a morning class, and even though I thought I knew a lot about how to behave and how to go into a gym, I was taking jiu-jitsu as a practice in humility. I was never an athlete. I was a lot heavier as a kid, and I was doing this as something that would teach me more humility, because I'm a big fan of Jocko Willings, who is fond of saying, humble yourself or you will be humbled. And so I took that to heart, and I'll talk more about that humbling process as the podcast goes on. But my first class was great. It was a morning class. There was only a few people there. I did roll the first 3 weeks I was there. I sparred probably too aggressively for what I was doing. I thought I was going in with a lot of humility, and I probably didn't have quite enough. Fortunately, the people in my gym were very kind and patient, and like, brand new white belt. All right, take it easy. Arguably, when you go into a gym as a white belt, you're the most dangerous person there because you have very little control over what's happening, and you have a greater likelihood of kicking somebody in the mouth or head butting them in the eyebrow or something. So I went in. I have a natural aggressiveness to me, and I'm pretty flexible and fit. And so I went in with an enthusiasm. and it was good. It was good. My first class, though, my instructor uh, rolling, he armbarred me, and something popped in my elbow, and he didn't mean to do it, and it it took me a couple, probably a week to heal or something like that. But I loved it. It was an adrenaline rush, and it was a great experience, and it's continued to be so. Throughout my 6 months, I've learned some. I've gotten some injuries. I cracked a rib. Um, I've bruised bones, but it never stopped being fun, and I never thought about stopping. Absolutely not. Um, Tonight I'm here recording this instead of going to class. They didn't have a jiu-jitsu class tonight, but they had a combat fitness course, which was just for I was going to take it to do increase some cardio. But last night I tore off a 1-inch disc of skin on the underside of my big toe doing sprawls. So I'm like, so I gotta stop. But I've gotten some injuries, but I've considered that all just part of it, and I've had a great time. Um, One of the things that I do want to just mention that's been curious, and I've got just in the 6 months I've been going, I've collected interesting stories of interesting characters, and I hope to share them with you and entertain you, give you some insight. I don't know. But one of the things that consistently makes me wonder about is the people that show up and then leave. I've I can't tell you how many people have come through there who are younger than me, more physically fit than me, have wrestling backgrounds, are have and do great, and they come for a few classes and then leave, and I just don't understand it. And I'm not. This isn't bragging on myself at all. You know, because some people stay, and you wonder, well, that's interesting, but some of these folks they don't stay, and it makes, and I wonder why, because they seem to have all the physical and attitude characteristics to be successful, and they're there for just a couple of classes and go. And I don't think it's the vibe of the class, because every person I've met there has been really really friendly. It's a big family. Um, so that troubles me, because I've found so much love and passion in this, and real fulfillment, and I hate that somebody might do it for a couple of classes and spend the money on the gi, and only do it for a few classes and go, oh well, this isn't for me, and I hate that. Um, so I hope to find out more. I want to talk to my coach about it and find out why people leave, and if they tell him. That's something that I've been thinking about. Why do people stop? Why do people stop like right after the beginning? Um, I don't know. I don't know if I'm wired weird. I enjoyed those first few weeks when I was training was so painful that it kept me awake at night. I've been keeping a pretty consistent um, regimen of 3 nights a week that I train. And so those first few weeks, that first month, there were nights that it kept me awake, just because my legs were jacked up, or my elbow, I was like, ugh. But I thought that was cool. I was doing something that I wasn't good at, and learning from it. And so I've been very very grateful for that. Um, so if I'm going to post this to YouTube, and if any of y'all have comments about why you think people start and stop, uh, I'd be interested to hear them. But the things that I want to talk about in this podcast are my journey a little bit, and hopefully be inspirational to somebody else, and also review um, other YouTube sites where you can get good, in my opinion, advice on Brazilian Jiu Jitsu techniques. I'm sitting here with an IPA, and just doing this. And the first one I want to bring to your attention is the Grappling Academy. Guy's name is Tom Davey, I think. He's out of South Australia. Yeah, let's see. Tom Davey. He's South Australia. He's a fifth degree black belt under that he earned under Carlos Machado. Not that that matters. I mean, pedigree is important to a degree, and one of the things that I at some point I'll talk about is just the breakdown of you know the lineage. Though something I've been interested in lately is just the genealogy of the Gracies and how that whole the patriarchy happened and how come there's so many of them. They seem to reproduce like rabbits. But anyway, this one page Grappling Academy on YouTube. It's run by Coach Tom Davey. It's excellent. He's an Australian, so he's easy to listen to. He keeps things fun. The techniques that he explains, I find them to be easy to follow. He demonstrates them and demonstrates little nuances. And my experience has been in watching YouTube videos. I watch a lot of them. I look at techniques and go, well, I can't do that. Watch something, you're like, okay, maybe someday. But and then there's other things that I watch and I'm like, I think I might be able to pull that off. And that's and there's more of that I see at the Grappling Academy. There's things that he demonstrates. I'm like, yeah, I think I can do that. One video in particular, he does an explanation of the scarf choke. It's called Kesikatame, and he walks you right through it. And when I watched it, I was like, I think I could do that. I think I could do that. You set through from side control, set up and get a head choke around the neck, and I've been able to pull it off a couple of times, and even got a submission twice from there in sparring. And I was like, whoa, this worked, and that was a huge feeling. And also one time I was rolling with a blue belt and I did that same move, and he sort of course, blue belts, a good blue belt lets you sort of take him or her to places just so you can, learn techniques. And once I was working for the armbar submission there, and he's like, where did you learn that? I was like, YouTube. He's like, yeah, that sounds about right. But it was a funny interaction. But this Grappling Academy, I recommend it. The guy's upbeat, lighthearted, and he has a lot of different things to show. So check that out if you're interested in just learning. And I encourage everybody that's new, check out YouTube. Just watch. There's some stuff I'll feature. I watched this video of these two high degree black belts flow rolling, and it was so it was really relaxing to watch, and watching them move for position and let go. I don't know if I learned anything from it that I might use, but I feel like I try to do a little something every day to get better, and watching videos is something. So I guess I'm going to wrap this up, keep it under 20 minutes or so, and just I hope that what I want to do with this podcast is do a weekly post. Probably I can see myself doing them after class, maybe talking about what I covered, what I failed to do right, what I might have gotten right. Again, I'm not going to give technique advice. That would be unbelievably presumptuous of me. I'm not that person to begin with, but I'm also not qualified. So I can talk with great expertise about my own personal experience, but I'm not gonna tell anybody what they should do. Except if you're wondering if you ought to take jujitsu, if it's always been something at the back of your mind, I can encourage you to do it. I was 48 years old. Jujitsu was something I've always been interested in. Big fan of MMA. Not a huge fan of striking. I grew up with a brother and got in plenty of fights, and I've taken all the punches and given all the punches I ever want to do. And I was never a badass or anything like that. I'm not bragging. But I'm not. I have no criticism of people that are strikers or anything like that. I love MMA, but I don't need to learn any of that. I don't think. And I love jujitsu for the competitiveness of it and the strategy and the learning of it. So going on a little long, I apologize. But please, if you're considering it, jump in. Find a good academy. There's a lot out there, and go in there and see if you've got a good vibe. Do hope if it's a gym worth its salt, they'll give you a week first week free or something like that. Check it out. Make sure you gel with the folks and keep going. Don't let the physical pain or your pride get in the way. It's a beautiful thing to start something new, and sucking is the first level at becoming an expert at something. And just embrace that. Just say, okay, I'm the student today and for this next several years that I am always learning. And I encourage you to jump in. It's been the most rewarding 6 months I've had in 30 years or something like that. And so please enjoy. Like I said, I'll put a new episode up every week, and I promise you they'll get better. I apologize for whatever video audio quality I have, and my ums and ahs, and I will work on that. And I look forward to seeing you all, and enjoy and get out there and roll. Thanks.